Hey all, Hibber here. Today I'm back with another video about Baldur's Gate 3, but this one is different because in this video I'm going to look into if PlayStation VR2 or PSVR2 is actually a viable choice when you're playing this game here. And to make it short, yes, it is. And I'll explain why. Now this whole section I'm showing here was actually played on PSVR2. And I will say that I actually really enjoy it. PlayStation VR2 is my preferred way to play pretty much any PlayStation 5 game. Of course, VR titles, obviously, because you need it for that. But even just, any title out there, just like Baldur's Gate 3, that doesn't actually even support VR. So that's what I want to talk about today in this video here, and then especially this video is very good for people who already happen to have a PSVR2 lying around and just maybe haven't thought about, hey, perhaps this would actually work well with Baldur's Gate 3, because obviously it's not the first game you would think about when you're thinking, hey, VR, because it is a roleplay game, but roleplay games are excellent for virtual reality headsets, even when they don't support them. And why is that? Well, it is basically because of the immersion that you are granted by the headset. And of course, if you wear the headset and you wear headphones as well, you won't be able to see anything other than the game. You won't be able to hear anything other than the game. So you are, completely immersed. And in a role-playing game, that's very, very helpful. I mean, it just makes you more part of the game, and you don't get pulled out of the story as easy, and obviously all the dialogue is a lot more intriguing and interesting to watch because it's just like you're in the cinema, right? Speaking of cinema, of course, if you're going to do this, then it would make sense to play the game on the largest screen possible within the VR headset. And of course, if you don't know, just press the PlayStation button twice and you'll be able to adjust that very, very easily with a slider. Because if you don't play on the largest screen possible, then, what is the point? Then you might as well play on your TV. Because the largest screen covers pretty much your whole vision, field of vision, and it works really well. Something you need to be aware of, though, is that obviously stuff on the side of the screen or stuff that you aren't really looking at gets a little bit blurry simply because the screen is so big and you need to look around to actually see everything. So, for example, in a screen like this, if you're looking at the selections at the top, you'll actually have to look up with your whole head to be able to read that stuff. And that's also when you're looking around the screen. You get used to that very, very quickly. And I actually think it's another immersion that just draws you into the game. So to level that out with the plus side of the VR headsets, it's a lot easier to notice details because you are sitting pretty much right in front of the screen, right? So any little deviation in a texture or anything that just pops up and looks out of place, you will notice very, very quickly. And it is certainly a lot more different because to get the same experience, for example, look at the skeleton here. I missed that every time I've been up here. I didn't even notice before. But in the VR headset, I happen to notice it. I don't know if it's the headset or just me being bad. I don't know, but there it was. It helped me. It did help me. So pretty much from now on, I play this game in the VR headset. Unless I'm playing multiplayer, then I'll play it on my TV. So also what I mentioned earlier, the interactions with, other players or, NPCs in the game is much more interesting. Because it kind of makes you feel like you're sitting in a cinema, and you can really see every little intricate like facial feature, and you can really see what mood people are in much easier, really. And I really like it. I really think it draws me in a lot more than just watching this conversation here take place on my TV. And that's a general thing with PSVR2 if you're using it to play normal games. Because I also use it for Skyrim, for example. It's not VR supported yet, but it does, pull me into the game a lot better than if I just watch it on my TV. And of course, there's also a technical reason why you should be using your PSVR2 headset as much as you possibly can. I know you're going to take a little hit on resolution, but it doesn't really matter that much. If you value immersion over 4K graphics, and you still get 1080p in there, so it's not like you're giving up much really. If you value immersion, then the VR headset is the way to go with pretty much any game.
There's someone waiting for me there.
So as I touched on earlier, from a technical standpoint, there's another reason you should go with your PSVR2 headset, and that's because the headset has OLED screens in it, right? So if you don't have a TV with OLED screens, you're gonna get a much better picture using your headset, especially when it comes to high dynamic range and lighting effects in general, because you don't have that gray screen. Everything is dark in the headset. So if it's dark around you, it's completely dark in the headset, and you will only see, what's actually lit up in the game. And if that's, high dynamic range, it's even better.
Fists slam against the mirror's surface again and again.
So another reason I prefer the headset is that I feel like it helps me, pull off very detailed stuff like disarming traps or finding traps in the first place, right? And doing all those rolls and, also sneaking. If you are a sneaky character, I totally would go with the PSVR2 headset because it just gets you closer into the action and you don't have to go turn-based all the time to make sure you don't make mistakes. Of course it helps, but you don't have to do it as often. So that's pretty much my take on using the PSVR2 headset here for the Baldur's Gate 3 experience. And I think it is a wonderful way to play the game. I think you get a lot more out of it, and just the added immersion. And when I say added immersion, I'd say you probably get like double the immersion. It's hard to measure immersion, of course. It's also very a personal thing. But for me, I get a lot more attached to the game. I get a lot more drawn in, and also my gaming sessions are much longer when I stay in the VR headset. And I take that as a sign that, I feel like I'm part of the world and I'm having a good time in the game. And of course, I would do that on my TV as well. There's no doubt about that. But on the headset, I really enjoy the brightness, like the OLED displays in the headset that really give the world that extra kick, And you don't have to worry about stuff like mirroring in your TV screen or stuff like that, or if it's a sunny day outside, it doesn't matter at all. You just put on your headset and it's dark and it's quiet, and you put on a good headset, like audio headset, obviously. Like PlayStation makes some excellent ones with 3D audio as well. So obviously put that on as well, so you have the full experience, because that's so important. If you just use the headset, that's not enough. You might get away with it if you have a surround sound system at home. If you don't have that, you should definitely get a headset, a good headset with lots of bass and very, very, very good one, because you already paid a lot for the VR headset, right? So obviously you should have a nice audio complement with it. So should you run out and buy a PSVR2 headset because you want to play Baldur's Gate 3 in VR? No, of course not. Of course not. The VR headsets are for virtual reality games primarily. But if you already have one lying around and you're not using it or whatever at the moment, and you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, I highly, highly recommend that you play the game in the headset, because it really does make a difference. And it's hard to convey in a video here, because you're just going to see exactly the same thing as you see on your TV, right? So I can't really make you believe me. But trust me, you got to try it. If you have a PSVR2 headset, or you know someone who has it, just borrow it, or plug it in for an hour, play the game, and see what you think. I think it is the superior way to play this game, and that's also why I buy all my games from now on PlayStation 5, because it gives me at least the opportunity to play them on PSVR2, right? So anyway, hope you enjoy Baldur's Gate 3. I certainly am, and I'll see you out there.